Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back. I know it's been a while. Bear with me. My Jupiter return is this year, and y'all, Jupiter has me busy, okay? I'm busy as fuck. Like, it's not a joke, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, God. I worked so hard to get here. So, we have to talk about you being able to predict some of your life events for the next, just like for your entire lifetime. All right, so there's this thing, okay, so wait, let me go back. You guys know about your natal chart, right? If you don't know about your natal chart, and if it's your first time here, what's up, y'all? Welcome. It's me, it's your girl, I'm Novi. I am your favorite astrologer, okay, and your favorite actor, period. I'm claiming it for myself, I'm making it happen. So I'm gonna be talking about the progress chart because this thing is amazing, and we're gonna go over some of the things that are gonna happen. So you guys know what your birth chart is or your natal chart, and if you don't, go ahead and Google it, look it up, go on astro.com. You need your birth time, location, and birthplace. Birth time, babies, are very, very important because it gives you very specific, like down to the day, down to the hours type of like what is gonna happen in your life. I'm not even joking. There are astrologers out there who do these predictions, who do predictions for people on a month-to-month basis, but you can do it literally day by day as well. All right, and year by year and whatever. So, and if you don't know, my big three is Cancer rising, Taurus moon, Scorpio sun. So go ahead and drop your big three in the comments below because I need to know what energy I'm pulling in over here. So I know that you're born a sun in whatever sign you got, okay? So like, I'm not taking it away from you, baby. If you a Gemini, baby, you a Gemini, okay? I'm not taking that away from you. If you was born in Pisces, you're a Pisces, okay? If you was born in Aries, you're an Aries. I'm not taking that away from you, but baby, there's this thing called evolution and growth, okay? That is what I'm talking about. And that's what the progress chart is. So there are two ways to there's multiple ways to kind of see transits, but two ways are, one of the ways is you can look, at the ephemeris, and I never say this right, but whatever. It's basically the astrological calendar. Okay, you guys can Google it. It's like EMPHERSIS. I think it's spelled like that. I might be spelling it wrong right now. Google will correct me and you. So you guys look that up. It's your astrological calendar. So you can look the year you were born, right? If you were born, in the 70s, like 1971, September 4th, you can pull that up and you can see where the astrology was for all that entire time. And then you basically count a day, one for each day that you're alive. So this is, the calendar that you're going to use if you were born with retrogrades. All right? This is really important. Even people who were not born with retrogrades, you're going to want to look this up because you might get a retrograde in your chart as you get older. You might have been born with a Mercury direct, so your communication was very good, this, that, and the third, but all of a sudden your Mercury goes retrograde in the astrological calendar chart in the same month that you were born. And this can reverse your life, okay? And Mercury retrograde shows up in several ways. This can show up as a speech impediment. It could show up as miscommunication issues, because that's the major thing with Mercury retrograde. It can show up as issues with transportation, okay? Cars, bikes, buses, trains. And it also can show up as a language barrier, all right? Because the opposite of Mercury is Jupiter. And Jupiter represents travel. Both Mercury is short-term travel, taking a car, hopping in a whip, going to get a burrito real quick, 40 minutes away. I don't care what y'all say, I'm a Taurus moon. I will go an hour for some good food. I will. It is what it is. So, you can see that in your chart. This can indicate maybe you are picking up another language or there's some type of broken communication happening. This can also, sometimes come up as a health issue where your speech is impacted. And that's where that Mercury retrograde is coming from, because there could have been some kind of automobile accident, okay? These things they're there. They're in the chart. So some of y'all will never get out of retrograde. Some of y'all are born with a Saturn retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Uranus retrograde, and you will never come out of that, because when Saturn does go retrograde, so for any babies that are born from now to the next 4 months, they're going to have retrograde mostly their entire lives of their chart, because this chunk of people have Saturn retrograde to deal with this lifetime. Okay, some people come out of retrograde, some people don't. Some people lose a retrograde planet and then gain another one. It just really depends on the lessons that your soul is here to learn and live through and experience. So that's one way to check it out. Now, the second way is the progress chart, okay? You're just gonna go ahead and type it in your Googler, pull it up right now. Go ahead, pull it up right now. Put in progressed chart. Now, why is this exciting? Please, y'all, please. You know, I'm always tweeting. Another reminder to check your progress chart, because baby, if you want to see what you're on today, like, why am I sitting in this hotel right now? Okay, why is my look this way? Why do I date the type of people that I date now, which could have been different beforehand? You ever met somebody and maybe they were extremely shy, or you know, maybe they just didn't talk a lot, and then all of a sudden these motherfuckers are talking? Well, their Mercury could have, or one of their planets could have progressed from Pisces into Aries. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's a spark. And this person is showing up, okay? And you see them now, and they have a lot to say, or maybe you're just listening to them better. Because that's also the issue, you know, Pisces, my Pisces baby know what I'm talking about. It's like people just don't be listening to y'all. So that's the thing about the progress chart. So this is the other thing I need y'all to look up. There are 30 degrees to a sign. These represent the 30 days of the month, right? The sun moves approximately 1 degree a day. The moon moves faster than that. That's why the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. All right, there's a schedule to this, right? And the moon represents women, and also our menstrual cycle, right? All these other things that kind of like go in tandem with this. God is so poetic. I just love it. I love it. God is a poet first. I be trying to tell y'all, God is a poet. So you have 30 degrees in each sign, right? Now, I've talked about this on Twitter before, but if you haven't and you don't know about this, there are these things called Decans or Decans. You can say it however you want. It's like pecan, whatever. You know what I'm saying. And there are 3 subcategories of each sign. Think about, like, if you've ever been to a club. I don't know if you're old enough to go clubbing, but if you've been to a club that has different music rooms, there's a hip hop room, there's a house room, there's a techno room, there's a country music room. That's kind of what Decans are. So each club has 3 different rooms, right? I always say, look at the natal chart, the 12 sections, as clubs. And these are the clubs, and these are the experiences you'll have in that club, the type of people you'll meet, and the things you'll be attracted to or not attracted to, the challenges or the gifts that club has to offer you, right? So there's 12 clubs in your life. So, but there's sections within the club, right? You come into the front, they greet you, you go past the bar, then you go to the dance floor. Like there's sections. You might have to walk upstairs, take an elevator to go somewhere, go to the rooftop. Like there's always something more. So always remember that. This is why, okay, you got to see what type of Gemini you are. Because you might be a Gemini, and if you're born in the beginning of Gemini season, which is that first 10 days, because it's 10 degrees, 10 days, you're full-blown Gemini, okay? It's giving OG Gemini energy, original. Now, if you go to the middle, that 10 to 20 mark, that 10 to 20 mark degree, meaning in the middle of Gemini season, not technically the 10th day, but in the middle of Gemini season, then you're gonna have Gemini and Libra qualities. Okay, you're gonna be more like, you're the good friends. Like, you people with these placements are amazing friends, besties, okay, great neighbors, all that kind of stuff. These people love people. They love to talk to people, all that other stuff, right? However, if you're a Gemini born in that last little section of 20, 30 degrees, the end of Gemini season, oh no, baby, you more like a Gemini Aquarius. These are the people who you don't know which one you gonna get. You don't know how they're gonna be. These people are hot and cold, they want to be there, but they don't. Okay, see, these people are very connected to the community, all that other stuff, because they have Aquarian type of nature. But that's totally different than a Libra, a Venusian type of Gemini. An Aquarian type of Gemini is totally different. So this is why you will grow. This is your evolution already. So for all my people, and put down below, you pick whatever, pick the sun. Let's pick the sun, because we're doing the sun on this video. This is why. So it'll tell you how many years you will be experiencing this and the type of experiences you will go through, and you'll see, right? Because the sun is what we see. It is our life, and that's what becomes our life. This is why people with sun with Venus, art is their life, okay? This is why people with Sun, Saturn, work is their life. Sun, Moon, family is their life, because the sun represents our life and our purpose. This is why our purpose grows as time grows, as we grow. So, with that being said, now look at the degree of your sun. If you were born 0 to 10 degrees, you are spending a lot of the beginning of your life as a Gemini. Okay? A lot of it. So if you're born at 0 degrees, you're spending 30 years. Remember, 1 degree equals a year as a Gemini. But if you're born on the 15th, your sun sign is the 15th degree, you have 15 years to be a Gemini. If your sun was at the 27th degree, you have 3 years being a Gemini. If your sun was at the 29th degree, baby, you probably only was a Gemini for a year or less than that. And your life changed. Something probably crazy happened within your family structure. All right? Because Aquarius is sudden ups and downs, shocking reversals, right? Upheavals. This is why even if, let's say you were, like I said, that 15 degree or even maybe 18 degree, you could have gotten kicked out of school at some point, gotten separated from your family at some point. You could have rebelled, dropped out of school, or you just could have overly excelled, been a genius. Because these degrees are Aquarius degrees, so like anything can happen. You would have to look to your Uranus, your Aquarius house to give you the complete story. So that's the interesting thing, okay? So, let me give you guys an example. I am a 23 degree Scorpio sun. All right, with some minutes. There's always the degree and there's minutes on the side. Now we round up, you can round down. So if it's like, 23 degrees, 50 minutes, you're gonna have to go either way, right? You're gonna have to figure it out. If it's like 70, then obviously you can round up, right? But this comes down to months and days, because those degrees in the small ones on the side, those are months and days. That's how you can see that. That's why when you go to a really good astrologer, they'll say, well, you'll find it in 3 days. They'll return home in 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, because they're looking at the minutes. Telling you, this shit is great. This shit is amazing. And we're going to get into it, family. We're going to really learn up in here, okay? So, I was born in 23 degree, sun in Scorpio. Guess what? I was born in Germany, okay? I have Mercury retrograde. And this is a person who grew up learning a different language. So therefore, that's where the miscommunication comes in. See, the misinterpretation, right? Having to learn and relearn a language. So I was born in Berlin, Germany. That is my birthplace. Okay, I do have Sagittarius placements. My Saturn is in Sagittarius. My father's from there. All that kind of stuff. And at the age of 6, okay, it was 23 and like past 50. At the age of 6 something, is when I took my first plane, and me and my mother moved from Germany, Berlin, Germany, over to America. Now, if you follow me here, you will realize that my sun has progressed into Sagittarius at this point. Okay? And Sagittarius rules international travel, international publication, export. It rules foreign affairs, cultural differences, being from another culture. This is why when you have Sagittarian placements, a lot of the times people in your life will be from different countries, different cultures, different backgrounds, because your life is supposed to be filled with Sagittarian experiences. The only way you're going to experience true life is by talking to everybody, not just your local neighborhood. Gemini and Sagittarius are opposite. Sagittarius wants you to travel out into the world. This is why when I see somebody with a lot of Jupiter in their chart, they need to be on a plane often. You need a passport. That's non-negotiable, all right? If I see Venus in Sagittarius in the 7th house, you most likely are drawn and attracted to people that are not from your same culture or family, that are from a different background. Your mate will probably might be from a different country, speak a different language, okay? But the real, not even the real, but like another form of that, is meeting them when you're at college, or when you've gone away to school, or when you're vacationing somewhere. You have to travel. If you have Venus and Sagittarius, baby, and you're looking for a lover, you have Sagittarius on the 7th, Jupiter on the 7th, you need to travel. Your lover is most of the time not where you are, okay? They are somewhere else, unless, of course, the moon is aspecting it, the sun is aspecting it, Mercury's aspecting it. Then most likely they could be a foreigner or a person from a different country, but they're close to you in your vicinity, because the moon is close to you and Mercury is close to you. Okay, these are like close. Anything below the horizon, it's close to you. So back to my story. So when I was 6 plus a little bit, that was the first time I've ever been on a plane, and I literally moved from one country to another, and I had to learn how to speak American English. All right, like what and why did we move? My son was in the 6th house because of work. My mother was going back to work, all this other stuff. I have moon in the 11th. My mom is into IT. My mom's an IT person. Okay, I always had computers since when I was a teenager and all that. So you could see, and then I spent then that means at 6 and 6.5, 3 months, whatever, I became a progressed Sagittarius. I started traveling outside of the world. I started seeing things. I came out of that Scorpio. I still got a lot of those Scorpio placements. Okay, I still got a lot of other ones, but my sun was out of there. And then also my sun is in the Cancer Decan of Scorpio, and I'm a Cancer rising. You guys, are you seeing how the story is just being reinforced time and time and time again? It's the same thing, full of water energy. So me and my moms are like this, okay? Me and my mom is my bestie. Scorpio, and that's the, you know, the relationship with the mother is extremely important for people with Scorpio in the 2nd decan. It's a make or break for them. It either makes their mentality or breaks them all the way down. Woo, I gotta make videos on these decans. I'm sorry, yeah. So then, that's what happened. And then my Sagittarius happens to rule my 6th house. So I went through so many things when it comes to health in the 6th house, okay? And I don't even mean like, basically I got hit by a motorcycle. I ran through a glass door when I was 6. When I was 6, like I had been in America. I went back to Berlin for my dad. I ran through a glass door. So that was the start of all that, right? And then I've been hit by a motorcycle. I've become vegetarian. I was pescatarian, vegan, you know, always into working out and learning about health and fitness and, you know, working a lot. I work a lot as well. I was a waitress. I was a bartender. I was a babysitter. I was doing 6th house stuff. I was servicing. I was taking care of other people. And still now, my progressed sun is at the 29th degree of Sagittarius. I'm about to be a progressed Capricorn. So the next 30 years of my life, I am going to be in a Capricorn energy in whatever that is in my chart. And Capricorn happens to start in my 6th house and rule my 7th house. Okay? So it's just crazy. And mind you, I'm in a very serious relationship, all that. The sun is progressing to my 7th house because you could see if the sun is coming to your 7th house, most likely you're getting married. Most likely you're in a relationship. Most likely you're having children. This is when all this comes because the sun is giving life. It's giving illumination and purpose, willpower, energy towards the 7th house. And Capricorn is going to give me a business-oriented mind. I'm going to be extremely serious about building my business. And you guys see me doing my movies. You see me doing my TV show. Guys see me doing my astrology and conversations and constellations. It's giving very heavy Saturn energy. And the good thing, though, is I have Saturn in Sagittarius, so I'm still going to have a lot of Sagittarius energy. And my progressed Mercury is also in the 6th house. So, you know, all of my life is going to be 5th house, 6th house, and 7th house. That's going to be my life. And the 8th house. That is going to be my life. So that's what I meant about like looking at your progressed chart. All right. And the house placement is probably even more poignant than almost even the sign. The sign will show you how you're going to, well, both of them are important. It really doesn't even matter. Let me not even take one more important than the other one. They're both equally important. Okay. Because your purpose, where you're going to is changing. And so I'm going to have the sun in the 7th house, and this is, and the sun in the 7th house is dealing in partnership, okay? Business, relationship. For me specifically, I'm doing business partnerships, all right, as well. Like as I'm, you know, getting to be your favorite actor, come on now. Like, listen, we're going to pull these videos back up when I'm there, okay? As I'm getting to be your favorite actor, I'm going to still do these videos until whenever. I'm going to do these until I'm old and gray. But yeah, it's going to be Capricorn because my sun will be in the 8th house at some point. And so a lot of my life will be, a lot of my life is dedicating to other people, but that's all is dedicating my energy to other people and connecting with people one-on-one. Okay, having fun, 5th house, being creative, taking care of my health, 6th house, very important. 7th house, creating stable long-term partnerships, because that's what Capricorn is going to provide me there. Long partnerships, very long. This is why being Cancer rising is hard at first, but as time goes on, people stay in our lives for a very long time. Okay, especially the older we get and the more mature we get. So then after that, my sun will progress into Aquarius. And most likely I will transform as a progressed Aquarius sun. And so you can look in your chart and look at the same thing right now. So let's talk about it. Let's say you were a Pisces and your sun progresses into Aries. Oh, you faded in the background before, you ain't fading in the background no more. You showing up, you standing out, and you standing on all your 10 toes. You know, you're much more willing to fight for what you want when you are progressed Aries. You're much more willing to be expressive, blunt, to the point. That's just what it's going to be. And you're going to be attracted to people who give you that same energy. You're going to be attracted to Aries type of people who give you that straight no chaser, right? It's about survival. And there's a lot of movement. When you're a progressed Aries, you're going to be moving around a lot, and you're going to be working with your masculine energy, because Pisces is feminine. You came out the ultra feminine and now you became a masculine. Okay? And this is just the energy, meaning you put out more instead of taking in. This is what progressed Aries. So Aries is going to make you show up, is going to get you in situations that are going to get your attention where you have to spring into action quickly. If your progressed sun is in Taurus, honey, you want to slow down now. You've been in Aries your whole life, getting into shit, fucking it up, running into things, getting cuts and bruises and all this stuff, getting into fights and yelling and fighting for what you want, and being a warrior, being a survivor, being a protector. Now you just want to chill. You just want to chill. Like, you don't want no drama, bro. You try to keep your head above water. You're just trying to lay out on the grass, hit your blunt, eat your grapes, and mind your business. That is you are slower. You slow down. And you in your money zone too. This could get you into overspending and overeating, okay? This is just what Taurus does, because a lot of wealth comes into your life. You get more confident, most likely. You get more materialistic. You get more like, I'm about my money. I'm about my stability. I'm about my bag. I'm about my comforts. I'm about my pleasures. Okay, this is your money phase. So you're 30 years. And this is when you want to buy assets. You want to buy land and property and all that other shit. Because those years are the years you're going to be really learning about how to handle money and finances, budgeting, and all that other stuff. It's going to be great. Progressed sun in Gemini, baby. When you were slowing down as a Taurus and stuff like that, and just taking your time, hating to be rushed, hating to be woken up. You wasn't going to do nothing that wasn't comfortable to you. You wasn't going to do nothing that wasn't in your natural feminine energy, because Taurus is a feminine sign. And you wasn't going to do anything where you weren't receiving what you need. You needed no. As a Gemini, you're curious. You're ready to go. You're ready to try out way more things. You're ready to kind of just, people might be like, did you switch up? Like, I don't even know who I'm dealing with right now. Who are you? Right? There's going to be those questions. You're going to be moving around a lot. You might be on the road a lot. Literally in your car all the time, on your bike all the time, skateboard, like in your boat. I don't know what kind of vehicle you have, but Gemini is like on skates. I'm out of here. You might be picking up cycling. You might all of a sudden become a writer. Okay? You might all of a sudden, you just talk more. Okay, you talk more, you express more, and you are thirsty for information. Thirsty, like parched. You need it. Okay? It's what you want. You want all of that. You want to know things. And you're not necessarily attached to anything or anyone. It's pure curiosity. It's pure childlike curiosity. It's this kind of lightheartedness. You might have been more serious as a Taurus, but when you're a Gemini, you lighten up. All right. You could also just turn yourself into an airhead. See, these are the type of people who could be born a Taurus sun when they are, let's say like they're born at a Taurus sun at 10 degrees. And by the time they turn 20, because it hit that 30 degree mark, they said, you know what? People like people who just ask questions and act stupid. I'm going to just act, because Geminis act stupid. They're not stupid. They act that way. That airhead shit, they're getting information, right? That's the thing. So you are in research mode for the next 30 years. You're going to be in class. I promise you, you're going to take some type of educational something. That is what you're going to do. If not going to be in the classroom, you're going to be teaching the classroom in some kind of way or shape or form. But education is just, you need it. And this is when also you just, depending on what else is going on, there might be a couple people involved in your life, okay? Because the sun does rule romance. So this might be 3 ways, this might be that time when you try this in your life, okay? Because Gemini is open. This is also, in my opinion, by curiosity. This is where this energy comes from. Now, if your sun progresses into Cancer, whoo, baby, all that for the streets attitude is not going to happen no more when you're a progressed sun in Cancer. It's time to lay down roots. This is the time when you want to start a family. This is the time when you become a father, a mother, okay? And sometimes it's not even like, it just happens. It literally just happens. So especially at that 29 degrees Gemini sun, child, like, just be careful who you be having babies with, okay? You might have been... Make the right choice. So as a Gemini, you were out on the road, you were out and about, you were just busy. You're a busybody, a busy bee. You have a lot to say, a lot to do. When the sun progresses into Cancer, you are way more emotional. Okay, because all the information you've been gathering for all those years is now seeping into your roots. Okay, it's informing what should make you feel safe. And this has a lot to do. This is when you buy a house, get married, have children. This is what happens with this 4th house. 7th house is when you get married. 4th house is when you buy the house, or Cancer. I'm saying when the sun progresses into Cancer, you're going to be more nurturing. You're going to be more emotional. And so if you're a person who has spent 30 years of Gemini, not really tapping into your emotions that deeply, because Geminis are emotional, it's just that they don't go that deep half the time. This is going to pull that from you. Your family is going to need you a lot. You are going to be very much responsible for that. And you can spend a lot of time at home or near your home country. You could be working close to home. You could be working from your home. You could become some type of caretaker or provider to someone as well. When you have sun in Cancer, you are taking care of someone. This could be like you take care of your father. You could have been born a Taurus, in the middle, been a Gemini for those 30 years. And now, you're 50 something years old and the sun progressed into Cancer and something's happening with your dad. And now you have to be home and take care of your father. These are those kind of things that happen. Okay, this makes you way more creative, a person who wants to just like cook and host and make sure that people are feeling well and nurtured. This will be an emotional time for you. That it will be very unpredictable because the moon changes every 2.5 days. So it's that's the cycle that you're going through. Every 2.5 days, something new is coming up. And this is for anybody who has Cancer placements. They already know what it is. But when your sun goes to Cancer, your life will be revolved around that. That's what it will be. And so you have to learn how to go with the flow at that point. Now, at the sun, and tap into your emotions, you know what I'm saying? And you'll get more curious about your past, your history. And it might make it a little bit hard for you to, especially if you get comfortable there, whatever emotions you're creating there, it could be hard for you to come out of that when your sun progresses to Leo. When your sun progresses to Leo, you over the shits. You over crying, honey. You over begging. You over pleading. You're over all that shit. You're just ready to get your fucking party on. You're ready to have fun. You're ready to fall in love. You're ready to be romantic. You're ready to be seen. You're ready to be validated and heard. You are fucking ready to be queen and king, step on your motherfucking throne, come out and hear everybody cheer for you, baby. And you will do it by yourself. So even like say you grew up as a Gemini, okay, at the end of Gemini, 15, let's say 15 degrees Gemini, let's say you got pregnant at 15, okay, you had a beautiful children, maybe twins, because Gemini is also giving that energy, and then you did that for 30 years of your life, and now you're 45, and your children are grown, and now, baby, Stella, Poppy, Chulo got his groove back, okay? We're back outside. This is when you want your respect. This is when you want people to see you for the things this is when you can turn your hobbies into your lifestyle, okay? This is when you want to party and you don't want to take life seriously. You want to perform. You want to be out on the center stage. Now, it really depends on which way you want to do that, but you do want to After you've gathered all the information, after you've felt everything you felt, now you want to tell people what you've seen and what you've experienced. That's what's happening when the sun is there, okay? When the sun is in its original sign, you have a lot more vitality. Your body, it's just like a lot more is going on. But this is a time when you need to be careful with your heart, because Leo rules the heart. And this is where heart issues can come in from. And I didn't speak about the other signs, I'm sorry. Aries rules the head, so there could be a lot of headaches coming in and migraines, or just issues around the head, scarring around the head, a head accident, brain tumors, any of that crazy stuff can happen when your sun progresses to Aries. When your sun progresses to Taurus, nose, throat issues, okay? Nose, throat, like thyroid issues, stuff like that. If your sun progresses to Gemini, there could be issues with your lungs, your hands, your arms, all right, your fingers. And some put Gemini the eyes too. So, and then with Cancer, that's gonna be your breast area as well as your gut. Okay, indigestion, upset stomach, you know, anything that has issues down there. So your gut health is really important. For Leo, it's gonna be your spine. So stretching, you know, chiropractor, if that's a good thing, and if you believe in that medicine and practice, you know, stuff to keep your back healthy and your heart healthy. So you could like, don't overdo yourself, because these people will go, right? Leo fixed sign is like very focused on the goal. And so this is when you could be really feeling yourself. You could become really well known. Like you could become extremely famous. This is a time when fame can come into your life with the sun progress into Leo. This is the time when people are going to know you for being in a band, being on a show, being in a theater play, you know, being the best principal at the school, because you know, sun rules children as well. So you can become the principal and everybody loves you. Oh my God, I love Principal Chile. Like he's the fucking bomb. I love him. And you can have the best, you know, rapport with those people and helping education, right? If the progressed sun is like in Leo, in the third. So then if the progressed sun in the fifth in Leo is just gonna want to have fun. Like you're gonna want to have fun. You're gonna want to go out to parties. Like I have a fifth house stellium, and a lot of my life is going to events and parties and all that other stuff. A lot of Leo stuff, plays and shows and live music and all that stuff. That's the type of stuff I get to experience on all the time. You'll be dating a lot more, or you'll just be feeling more romantic as well. Then the sun progresses to Virgo, honey. That's when the party shuts down. Okay, this is when you don't have time for that. You don't really care about the energy like that you're getting from the outside world. You want to do something of service for other people. It is time for you to clean up your act. The sun has gone into Virgo, and your daily life will be, there's always a problem to solve every fucking day. People with Virgo energy know every day, every moment, you're always solving a goddamn problem. Right? So your sun progresses into Virgo. This is when you become extremely health adamant. You're going to be like, this is when you might get in the zone and, you know, get your, you know, your 4-pack and do HIIT workouts and get into yoga and be holistic and eat clean and, you know, all that other stuff. So that's Virgo. You're taking everything out that you don't need. This is the time when you might become really into micromanaging your entire life and everyone else's life around you. This is the time when you might meet your the person that you end up in love with at work, in work situations. All right. Especially if you've been, you know, a Leo for 25 years and now your sun progresses to Virgo. A lot of the times your lovers will be at work. And you're just going to be more methodical, strategic. This is a time of self-mastery. This is a time of understanding how your body functions, your mind, your soul, and putting all the pieces together so that you can be, you know, really of servitude to other people. This might be a time when you feel, especially if you come out of Leo mode, that you feel like you're not getting a lot of attention, you're not getting the respect you deserve, and you're just working really hard and getting underpaid. And can really feel that way as well. Especially if you're used to being, you know, Leo being the star child, a star athlete, the, you know, the golden child, all that other stuff. When something progresses into Virgo, baby, it's like you take the back seat, you just do the work, you know, and it sounds like it sucks, but with Virgo, you always have to go where your work is highly appreciated. So this is why a lot of Virgo people end up going into the health care field and the holistic field, because that's where their expertise is very much appreciated, or they become some kind of doctor or surgeon, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of service worker, and that's where they really find their heart. I mean, you could have been born a Leo sun, but with your sun aspecting Uranus, you know, in a square. So you could have had some kind of separation, or your family could have been dismantled by some kind of wild shit. And so when your sun progresses into Virgo, when you're 16, you know, that's when you start researching about the healthcare system and adoption and foster care, and like all these other things. And then it's when you start doing, because Virgo is very much about research as well. It's a Mercury ruled planet. And then that's when you're like, I have to help people. And this is why wherever Virgo is in your chart, even if you don't have planets in Virgo, that's the people you want to help. Okay? Those are the people that you sacrifice yourself a lot for. And so this is when you become very sacrificial of yourself, your willpower. This is why people with Virgo energy have to do a lot to maintain their energy, because they're giving it out to everybody else. And that's something that you guys have to be extremely mindful for, because that's 30 fucking years. Y'all, I know you hear me. And you're going to get better as you go on. In the beginning, you're going to just overwork yourself. You're going to get underpaid because you don't know how to value yourself a lot of times with that Virgo energy. And I know I have a lot of 6th house planets, so it's something that I'm still working to. And it can make you like, you know, this is where anxiety can come up, whatever. This is where health issues can come up. This is when, you know, if you met somebody who had a health issue for a very long time, this could have been some adverse, you know, things to, if your sun goes into Virgo, and let's say you have, I'm trying to think of a placement that actually will work. That's not, I'm not just saying anything off the top of my head, but let's say you have Saturn in Gemini and the sun in Virgo, that's going to create a square at some point, that progressed sun into Gemini. So there could be some restrictions, hardships around Gemini type of things. And mobility. This could be, again, like I was saying, a car accident, and then you have to learn how to walk again. But then you get really interested in physical therapy, and then you come up with this, you know, thing about physical therapy and what helps and what doesn't. It starts becoming this whole story. Right? And so your things that you've learned to service yourself, because Virgo is about servicing self, not others, but you know, that's a whole nother video. We'll get into that another day. But it's about servicing yourself first, so that you can just, like, it's almost like it's nothing for you to help people, because remember, Pisces is on the opposite side, and Pisces is all about sitting back and letting it relax. So yeah, that's Virgo energy. So now if the sun progresses into Libra, you're going to be all about relationships. Okay, you're gonna be all about relationships. You're gonna want to find something or someone. You're gonna want to find someone to share your life with. All right, this is why a lot of Virgo type people with a lot of Virgo energy work really hard to set up something, so by the time they progress into Libra, they're ready to get married, because they have everything. They have a job that's stable, healthcare, and all the things, you know, all the things. Their house is clean, blah blah blah. When the sun progresses into Libra, you're going to feel more flirty, okay? And it will. The sun progresses that you will be flirting more. So if you're in a relationship, just keep this in mind and understand this is part of the energy, because Libra wants to connect with people one-on-one. Now, this can bring about infidelity and all this, and all the signs can, but there's just certain signs that is just more prone to, because you don't know the energy that you're stepping into, especially when you were a Virgo for such a long time. Now you're stepping into Libra energy, where people are seeing you and they're inviting you out to parties, and it's easy for you to attract good looking people when you have Libra energy. It's nothing new. It's not, ask all my Libra babies. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. That's why you have to be mindful of this energy, because if you built something with somebody else for a long time, you know what I'm saying? This is not the time to be stepping out, because Libra does cause entanglements. Libra does cause that, because Libra brings in another party into the situation. However, you're single and you've been working for 30 fucking years, or you're 30 years old, and now you progress into Libra. You're like, fuck this job. I want a man. I want a woman. I want a relationship. I want to be married. I want to be in love. Libra is also, this could also have you, if you were a Virgo, you could also, this is the time you become the lawyer, because, you know, Libra deals with the law. So this is the time when you graduate, you take the bar, blah, 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 and now you're 30 and now you become a lawyer, or you're on your way to becoming a lawyer, or this is now what you want to do. You're going to be more artistically driven. You're going to be more concerned about your image and how you look to people. You're going to be concerned about being liked. That's Libra. Libra wants to be likable. They want to be relatable. You want to be relatable. You're going to learn about the art of compromise, and you're going to learn how to reciprocate properly. All right. You're going to have to learn about give and take, and there's going to be a needing to balance a lot of your life out. And you could feel like your identity is split when your sun progresses into Libra, because you're sharing a lot of your life goals with somebody else. Okay, you're sharing. Libra is about sharing. You and me, we're holding hands, we're best friends. So this could absolutely be that. Let's say you were born a Leo and then you went through your, 30 years Leo, 30 years Virgo, and now all of a sudden you're in Libra, and you spent, you're 60 years old, and you spent your whole life having fun, partying, being creative, being outside, working, and having romance, having relationships and all these other things. But then all of a sudden your progressed sun is in Libra, and maybe you end up marrying your best friend. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, I want to be with somebody. I want to be in a relationship because that's what's important to me right now. And that's why you can't ever try to shove it in down people's throats. Oh, what's important? What's valuable? What's not? Everybody values something different at a different phase in their life, because that's just the way that God set it up. God is a poet, I keep telling y'all. All right. So when the sun is in Libra, you're gonna be way more social out there. You're gonna want to be social. You're gonna want to go to parties. You're gonna want to do dinner parties and just get dressed up, be cute. You're gonna want that. It's time to update your wardrobe when that happens. Progress sun into Scorpio. It's like, oh my God, no, I don't want. This is when you deepen things. All right. This is when. Well, hold on. Let me say one more thing. When the progressed sun goes into Libra, your relationship with people is more important than your job. Like Virgo, you put your job and your service and stuff like that above everybody else. But when your sun is in Libra, you're putting your relationships. And then you want to just meet a bunch of people. So you're spending 30 years doing that. But then when you become a progressed sun in Scorpio, it deepens all your relationships. It's going to bring some drama. It's going to bring some chaos. It's going to bring some need, some need to understand people's motives, okay? Because there could have been some betrayal when you were a Libra, right? And all that other stuff, mistrust and all that. But so now the sun goes into Scorpio. That's when all that is really high. You start seeing people for what they are. That's when the truth comes out, okay? And that's when it could be very scary, because if you've been a Libra your whole life and stuff like that, so then all of a sudden you're in Scorpio, you get your heart broken, it could change your whole mindset about relationships. It could really fuck you up in a certain way if you don't know. If you don't have the tools to really know. This is why research is always important. So because when your sun in Scorpio, sex, psychology, metaphysics, occult, hidden knowledge, watching a lot more death documentaries and unsolved mysteries. Before, you were watching interior design shows and fashion shows and listening to music and art. Now you're watching why people get killed and why people do what they do. You're into astrology now. You're into tarot now. You're into spirituality, and everything around you is about the energy that's in between. It's all about the subtleties. Now you're looking to everybody's body language. You're becoming a Scorpio. You're noticing more things. You're noticing all the things on the deep down inside. That things that are not explainable and things that people are hiding or trying to gloss over, make look nice, things of that nature. This is why when your progressed sun goes into Scorpio, a lot of death comes up around you, either in the real physical form, or lots of time it's ego deaths, spiritual deaths, emotional deaths. There's a lot of loss, okay? This is when literally a lot of your life will be wrapped up in taxes, inheritance, bankruptcy, sex, other people's money and resources. Your whole life is going to be in that scorpionic thing. There could be, learning the art of manipulation when your progressed sun is in the Scorpio, learning how people use emotions and the past to control you, and using how they use money and sex and to control. It becomes that for you. It becomes one of those things where it's hard for you to escape seeing the shitty side of life, especially for those first degrees, those first few years. And if you don't have something like psychology or a therapist or some type of shaman healing, this is a sign of healing. This is when you have to go through some deep healing. You might have found out, oh, your parents really didn't have that great of a marriage. Because a lot of times when you're a Libra, there's some other shit going on when it comes to marriage, all right? When it comes to your parents. Because Libra and Scorpio are right next to each other. There's always something going on. So that's what happens when, the progressed sun is in Scorpio. It's so funny because the sun is starting to go down now outside too. I was trying to catch the sunlight and everything. It did not work. It's all good. So the progressed sun in Scorpio kind of just deepens you. It darkens you. It puts you in a lot of crisis situations. You're dealing with a lot of extremes, ups and downs, and especially when it comes to your money too. This is a time when you have to learn about taxes and debt. This is the time you don't want to play around with that shit. Don't let the bills get behind. if you can help it. You know what I'm saying? This is a time when you really want to be aware of loans and all that other stuff. All right, but Scorpio is also a sign of the investor, one of the big investors. So this is a great time where you can get investment property. You can get, you know what I'm saying? Go half on a business with somebody, things of that nature. This is also when you get into your like powers. You know what I'm saying? This is when you strengthen yourself. It's a lot about power at this point. And privacy. You're going to be a lot more private at this time in your life. Now, when the sun progresses into and then also when the sun is in Scorpio, sex is either way. It's either you have sometimes it can be way too much sex, or you have no sex at all. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very extreme. So the sun progresses in Sagittarius after you spend all that time being a goddamn Scorpio, bro. Tired of the shits, tired of people lying and betraying you and stuff, because you're learning that people only do it to themselves. So of course they're going to do it to you because they lie into themselves, but it takes a long time for you to figure out that cycle and that pattern within people. You're just like, I don't give a fuck no more. I've learned what I've learned. I know what the fuck I know. When you're a progressed sun in Sag, you have a deep wisdom that other people just cannot even understand. A lot of times you saying shit over other people's head and people are not catching it. You have a new outlook on life, a new lust for life. This is when you want to leave and travel. So even if your sun was, let's say you had your sun in Scorpio and you're 20, you just turned 18. You're the type of, let's say you were born at 12 degrees Scorpio sun and your progressed sun turns into Sag. You are happy, most likely, to get out of your house and go away to college or move somewhere. This is when you will get up and move to another place. Okay? It is very, 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 very rare from when your planets progress into Sagittarius that you don't get up and move somewhere far away, minimum 1,000 miles. Okay, I moved across the country. I moved across the world actually when my progressed sun went to, and then when my Mercury went in there, that's when I moved over to California. So it's like you're gonna make it happen at some point. You have to leave the places that hurt you. You have to leave the places that carry a lot of emotional pain and trauma for you. You're gonna be looking for the truth. This is the time when you're going to be in your truth bag, going to different gurus, meeting a lot of different gurus. This is the time when you are gathering those wisdom seekers, and this is when you're reading those books like the 5 Agreements and Power of the Mind and all that kind of stuff. This is when you're doing that kind of work. This is when you might want to learn a different language, go away to a different country, be interested in different cultures. This is when your openness comes up. This is when you start opening up to the world. You want to see the world. You want to see the world, like at this point in your life. You said, I have to go. So even if you've been, you were born a Libra and like you were a Scorpio for 30 years and now you're like 38 years old, you say, I gotta go. I'm out. These people get up and they move. Especially if they have Aquarius or Uranus heavy aspect, they will get up here, they gotta go. So that's what happens when your sun progresses there. And this can also, remember, the planets also represent people in your lives. So that's all another thing. But the sun in Sag, you want to learn more. You want to teach more. You are looking for the truth, which a lot of times leads to religion in a lot of shapes and forms. This is why Sagittarius rules mosques and churches and places of worship and prayer. So there's going to be a lot of that energy going around. You might become super religious. You could even fall into a damn cult at this time. So be extremely careful about who you believe, because the aspects to your sun and your Jupiter is what's going to matter. And that's basically what's going to happen. Those planets and those houses will be highly lit and highly activated. And that's where you're going to spend a lot of your time. So beware of any false prophets, stuff of this nature, especially if you have Venus placements. You can get lost in the sauce, all this other shit. So, but Sagittarius is, you're going to be looking for a higher reasoning why you're alive. You're going to be looking for a meaning to life and what it is for you. So you're going to go through a lot of huge, big experiences. This is another sign where you can become extremely well known. Okay, because Jupiter rules international things, so this can happen for you as well. I mean, you're well known somewhere, somehow anyway, whether you're traveling to many countries or you're like on music or TV on a podcast or something, or you become a book publisher or an author, something like that. Some people are going to know about you. You're an athlete, a worldwide athlete. People are going to know about you. You're going to know about people. That's what Sagittarius progress. Sagittarius progress is going to take you on many journeys very, very, very far away, especially if it's in the 12th house. You could be all the way far away from your family, in a foreign land, different culture, different language, everything. Now, if the sun progresses to Capricorn, Capricorn sun is all about putting down, seeing the fruits of your labor, okay, as well. Working really hard, not taking the shortcut, okay? That's Capricorn. It's like you have to slow down now. And Sagittarius, you had very big, lofty dreams. You know, you want to do a lot of big things. And when your sun is in Capricorn, you have to learn how to systemize it. You have to learn how to make it a reality. You have to look to people who have done it before, as, you know, people who own businesses. This is the time where you probably want to open a business, start your business. This is the time when you are going to be promoted or your status is going to be higher, you know, but it's going to come with a lot of restrictions, a lot of boundaries, a lot of weight. So you can feel very burdened by life. This is where you want to be really careful, you know what I'm saying? Because you just had Sagittarius, and so you felt very light for a long time. And now it's Capricorn, and it's going to change your energy. It's going to make you much more serious about everything. It's going to make you harder on yourself. It's going to make you harder on other people. It's going to make you seem more mature, more reliable, okay, more, you know, people are going to look at you as a business professional, as a professional in general, somebody they can come to. But they're also going to see you as somebody that's out of reach or out of touch somehow, some way. A lot of people can feel like you might be too serious or like too business minded, all that kind of stuff. And that's what's going to happen when your sun is in Capricorn. You're going to meet a ton of business people. You're going to meet a ton of professionals. You're going to meet all that kind of stuff. So if you have Saturn energy, of Capricorn energy, or even earth signs, it's going to be a good time for you, because this is when you can see a lot of your dreams and your hard work come true. Okay. Saturn's also going to make you more tethered and responsible for your legacy. You're going to be thinking about your legacy and your longevity all the time. And then Saturn, Capricorn and Saturn rules the bones, okay? So be careful, your knees and all that shit. Be fucking careful. Sagittarius is your thighs and your hips. Thighs and your upper thighs, okay? And did I say Libra? Scorpio is going to be your reproductive organs, colon. All that's going to be really important. So STIs and STDs are really high when your progressed sun is in Scorpio. Any progressed planet in Scorpio, you gotta be careful. Then, I mean, everybody needs to strap up and be careful, but I'm saying you gotta be extra careful when that's happening. And then with Libra, it rules the lower back. So this is where and your bladder, so kidney stones, you know, lower back pain, stuff like that. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting, you know, I'm sorry about that. So then, damn, I should have just said all that shit at the end, right? I'll say it at the end again. Then somebody can timestamp it and then, you know, clarify that I said at the end, and then people don't have to look for what I just said. I'm not editing this though, but okay. So when your progressed sun is in Aquarius, this is when you're going to want to break free of all the bullshit that the world has put on you. You're done with work. You're done with giving to the world. You're done with status. You're done with accolades. You're done with just the grind, the hustle. You're done. You're done. You're done. You just want to chill with your friends, hang out with your community, find people that you fuck with for real. You know, you're gonna do something unexpected. You're gonna make a very quick, sudden life change. You will. You'll quit your career. You'll get divorced. You'll get married. You'll have a kid. You'll move away. You'll do something very abrupt when your sun goes into Aquarius. Okay, so this is why people with sun in Capricorn, when they were born, a lot of times it's hardships, right? And this is if you were born like 15 degrees, 13 degrees Capricorn. This is why a lot of times around 15, you got kicked out of your school or your house, or you ran away, okay? Something like that. Now, if your progressed sun goes to Aquarius, as I was saying, this is when you're gonna wanna start revolutionizing. You're gonna start rebelling. And people have not known you this way. You're going to start rebelling about the shit that people have known you for and what you've been doing for a really long time. You're going to start sounding weird. You're going to start looking crazy to people. You're going to start being out the box. You're going to dress differently. You're going to date different type of people if you're not married already. You're going to have way different interests. You're going to do a 180. You're going to do a 180 because there's going to be some type of awakening, some type of like I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of being stuck as a Capricorn. I'm over this. I have to free myself. You want to liberate yourself. This is, you know, and this is also progressed sun. Aquarius is LGBTQ. So you could spend, you know, like I said, your sun could have been in Capricorn 15 years, like remember 15 degrees Capricorn. And you're like, I think I might be gay. I think I might be bisexual. I think I might be, you know, insert your sexual orientation here. because your sun, now you're 15 years old and your sun is progressing to Aquarius, and now you're just like, so you change your friend group suddenly, you change your interests suddenly, you know, your real true dreams start coming true. You really start feeling disconnected from society and their own rules, and you don't want to be traditional anymore. You don't want to follow the status quo. You don't want to work. You don't want to do your 9 to 5. You don't care about pension. You don't care about the house for real. You just want to do something off the cuff. This is when you're probably going to be way more interested in electronics and the future, like just the future in general. You're going to be more involved in community projects. There could be a lot of, you know, going on retreats with people, doing a lot of group-centered activities. This won't be, I'm just going to work, I'm not going out, I'm not having fun anymore. No, you want to have fun at this point. Like at this point, you want to just go out and enjoy it, even if you could just be an audience member, but you want to be amongst the people, you want to be amongst the crowd, okay? You want to shake something up in your own life. Like your life has gotten boring to you, too stable, because Capricorn stable is all the way, so it's the same thing all the time. Even if it's stabilized chaos, you want to you would be like, no, I'd rather want peace. So that's the kind of shit that can happen with the progressed sun in Aquarius. You know, you're going to do something off the cuff. You're going to do something where it's life-changing. You're going to liberate yourself. You're going to free yourself from the shackles and limitations that you put yourself into. Okay, your life is going to turn upside down in some kind of way, shape, or form. And it's not a bad thing all the time, upside down. It's just like, oh, wow, I didn't even know I needed this, you know? It could be one of those things where, you know, maybe some big freaking company comes and buys all, you know, the property where you bought your house at. And now you guys have to sell your house and all this other wild shit. And you're just like, what the fuck? I hate the government. Da 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 da. Woo. Now you have to move, and you move to this other like community of houses, and you find all your best friends over there. But life just shook the hell out you, you know, it took your entire routine and trashed that shit. So that's what's gonna happen there, and you're gonna be probably a little bit more nerdy and geeky, and you're gonna be a lot more helpful, you know, because you're very much more group oriented at this time. You're not so business oriented. You're not so you're not a traditionalist anymore. Now, last but not least, and of course, the sun comes back out when the sun is progressed in Pisces. When the sun is progressed in Pisces, it's like, it's two sides. Either most of the time, you break up with your friend group or the people that you're around because of some type of ego battles, things about pride, misunderstandings that go all the way awry. And then you kind of just chill in the background. You get into spirituality because you go through a lot of things in your group dynamics that kind of push you through to spirituality, because Pisces deals with the unknown, self-undoing. It deals with forgiveness, compassion. So you have to be in a lot of situations where it's going to ask you to keep practicing that energy. This is when you're going to want to spend a lot more time alone. You're going to be more into healing and art. You're going to want to sleep more, rest more. You're going to kind of want to retreat from the world, because Pisces is about retreating and spending a lot of time and just by yourself and with spirit and the universe and stuff like that, and spending a lot of time by the ocean and by the water, and, you know, even going to also a completely different place. You could, you know, this is the type of person who might have gone to school to be an engineer and now they want to be a musician or a sculptor. Okay, all of a sudden, like, that's what's happening because, you know, they were technology driven, but now they just want to be more abstract. Life is more abstract to you when your sun is in Pisces. This is where addiction can come in. So if you haven't understood that about yourself and who you are when it comes to certain substances and things in your life, then this could, you know, come out of nowhere, like sneak up on you, because Pisces is very sneaky energy. And it's like, oh, you're partying with friends, right? Like your sun is progressing towards the end of Aquarius. So the last 2-3 years, you could be really partying with your friends, having a lot of great times and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden you guys have fallouts and you're partying with your friends. And now that party becomes something that you do at your home, at your leisure. And it's not a party thing anymore. You're doing drugs by yourself for real. Like you out here doing crack on your own. You out here doing drugs. Okay, so this can also happen with Pisces. Pisces is everything and it's nothing, and it's so crazy, and it makes you feel like you don't belong, like you're not seen anymore, and that people don't really fuck with you. That's the energy that you're gonna feel. But Pisces is asking you to become more spiritual. Like, let God move you where you're supposed to be. Stop wanting to show up to everything and everyone, because remember, when your sun is in Aquarius, you want to be connected. You are extremely connected. You have a huge network of people. And when your sun progresses into Pisces, it feels like you don't know nobody and nobody knows you. And did you really truly know yourself, right? Or your friends are not into the spiritual thing, or they're not into the artist thing, the abstract. When you are a Neptunian person, you have to deal with healing, spirituality, or art. And if you're not doing those things, like meditation, yoga, making music, sculpting, painting, singing, sailing, anything that has to do with water, art, therapy, healing, you are going to be on the other side of the spectrum where it deals with self-abuse. Okay, remember, because it's undoing, and it's opposite of the sixth of Virgo, which is all about taking care of yourself. So Pisces is when things feel like they're going to shit. You could feel like you're losing everything when your sun goes into Pisces. And this is what's going to push you into spirituality. It's going to push you into this realm, especially if you don't have any Pisces planets and everything is everywhere else. You know, hopefully you have some earth signs, so that could give that nice sextile to Pisces. Or you have water signs, so you can have a trine, so you can accept it more. But if you're fire and air mostly, and your sun goes into Pisces, it's going to be hard for you to deal with that, because your life was about communication and action and being out there. And when your sun progresses into Pisces, it's like, you know, when Harry Potter puts on the thing and he disappears, that's what it is. It almost feels like you're disappearing. That's why you can go into rooms and kind of slip past people, if that makes sense. Unless your sun is in the first house in Pisces, then it's going to be a different story. House placements matter, okay? The house, like, where is it first? And then people will see you as an artist, finally. If you're Pisces sun, imagine it started in the 12th house, it finally hits you in the first house. People now see you. They might start respecting you as an artist. That's a different thing, because you're still a Pisces rising. But when your progressed sun is in Pisces, you're going to be dealing with victim mentality, scapegoat. You're going to be dealing with like you have like extreme judgment, and you're going to be so non-judgmental. You know, you're going to be letting everybody in your life because you want to save them, or you're trying to be saved. So you're doing behaviors that are either on end of the spectrum. Either you want to be saved or you want to save somebody. So that's the behavior that you're going to be in. You know, this is why a lot of times when people do a lot of drugs, you're like, it's clearly a sign of help. They're asking for help. They're crying for help. And like, I can't stop. I need help. I need help. And so that's where that Pisces energy can come from, where you just get lost because you're desensitized. Pisces makes you feel numb. Okay. And this is why music is healing for Pisces. Art, photography, sounds, baths, all that stuff. You need that. You guys need to be interacting with mundane things that connect you to the earthly world, so you can feel the purpose of being here. If not, you're just going to swift away. Okay. And if you've had a lot of mental challenges here where you felt disconnected, especially if you're a sun in Aquarius at an early age, and you could feel it disconnected, or like the scapegoat of your family or the savior of your family, this is where you're going to need boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to need those boundaries a lot. And you're going to do a lot of praying, a lot of silent speaking to yourself. And your dreams are going to be extremely important when your sun is in Pisces. And this is why, you know, you really, I already tell my clients, anybody who has a lot of adverse aspects to Neptune, too many Pisces placements, stay away from the drugs and alcohol. I be telling y'all, don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you. 12th house person, it's not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. Even 6th house people, it's not for you, because 6th house, you feel all that shit the next day and the day after that, Virgo. Anything with Pisces and Virgo, too much of that is just not for you. You know what I'm saying? And it impacts your health a lot more than you think, and especially if you don't have a good grip on it. If you don't have good awareness, because when the sun goes into Pisces, you're lacking a lot of self-awareness. And this is where, you know, we give all people all of our money, our shelter, all of our food. We eat whatever we want, because Pisces can deal with obesity as well. All right. And this is where diabetes comes in, and all these other health ailments, because we're not paying attention to our water intake, our rest, our sleep, and all this other stuff. So that's the complicated thing about when your sun progresses into Pisces. That's why it's very much recommended that you get into an artistic field, so you can actually use that energy that you have, that abstract creative energy, that energy that you need to dream and all that other stuff, to actually put it into something. That's why Virgo's on the other side, because you have to learn how to manage that. Okay. So last but not least, here's the health issues that you can look at. I'm gonna put them here. Thank you for everybody who's putting the timestamps. When your sun is in Aries, migraines, headaches, head injuries, brain tumors, even dementia, because it rules the head. Sun in Taurus, you could have issues with your throat, nose and thigh. So nose issues, sinus issues, throat, thyroid, all that kind of stuff, okay? This is also where you can get high blood pressure, diabetes, because you're gonna be eating a lot, putting a lot in your body a lot of times with Taurus, okay? Then when the sun progresses in Gemini, you might have issues with your lungs. This is where breathing issues can come in. Your arms. I have Chiron in Gemini, listen. That's where you get your scar most likely on your body. And your hands and sometimes your eyes. Okay, this is where eye issues can come in. The sun progresses into Cancer, issues with the breast area and the stomach area, digestion, ulcers, stomach issues, cramps. This is when, people with very sensitive when they're on their periods, just gut issues in general. This is why gut health is really important. The sun progresses into Leo, issues with your spine and your back, and your heart. Ooh. Issues with your spine, your back, and your heart. So beware of all those things. Sun progresses into Virgos, issues with the small, large intestines. This is when you become very clean in your diet most of the time, okay? And how you eat, because you can feel everything. You can feel everything when your sun progresses into Virgo, like everything. Just ask them. You can feel everything. This is why they're picky eaters, because everything does not resonate with their body and it's not supposed to. Oh no. Bro. It's a ladybug right there. He was crawling around my room the entire day. Oh, he was just on his back. I don't know if do ladybugs sleep on their back? You good? Wake up. I'm sorry. I'm really concerned. Oh no, he looks like he's about to die. Why? He was just sitting here the whole time. Oh my God. No, don't die. Or is he asleep? He looks asleep. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. The ladybug right there. The sun progresses into Libra. Issues with your lower back, lumbar issues, kidney stones, bladder, small bladder, can't hold your pee. Sun progresses into Scorpio, issues with your colon, reproductive organs. Anus. This is where hemorrhoids can come up, STIs, okay? Sun in Sagittarius, issues with your upper thighs. Around that area, your hip, thighs area. Then your butt, because the centaur, the horse. Sun in Capricorn, issues with your bones, joints, and ligaments, teeth. Sun in Aquarius, nervous system, circulatory issues with your shins, lower legs. And then Pisces sun, your feet, your lymphatic system. Okay, so that's most of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.